10 things you didn't know about Shadow and Bone Season 2. Shadow and Bone is the best Netflix fantasy we've seen since The Witcher, as most of us say. Given the show's immediate success and how popular the book series is, we think it's safe to assume that Season 2 is all but confirmed already. And so, here are 10 things you didn't know about Shadow and Bone Season 2. By the way, make sure to click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our engaging videos, and use that trigger finger by smashing that like button. Now, let's get into it. 10. Shadow and Bone Season 2 release date. When will it be on? Netflix originals don't always air annually in the same way that network shows do. And when you take into account how huge this production is, we reckon Shadow and Bone might return by the end of 2022 at the very earliest. But 2023 is certainly looking more likely due to all the many production delays that the TV industry has faced recently. 9. New characters. A character we'll definitely see in a second season, as showrunner Eric Heiserer has already teased, is Wylan Van Eck, the one missing member of the Crows. In the books, Wylan is a demolitions expert who also happens to be the son of a rich Kirch merchant. He's also a love interest for Jesper, Kit Young, which many book fans can't wait to see on screen. 8. Final cliffhanger. What does that final cliffhanger mean for the Darkling in Season 2? Quote, obviously he's got a different kind of power, Ben Barnes told Digital Spy and other press. He's someone who has had an army and has been in charge of this medieval hierarchy, someone who's revered and feared, but he's even more alone now, with a handful of vendettas, and an amassed group of people trying to kill him. He's sort of all-powerful now. He just has to think something dark and it will happen. So it'll be interesting to see which characters we find him interacting with going forward, unquote. 7. Barnes' intriguing comparison to the books. Looking ahead, Barnes also made this intriguing comparison to the books. Quote, there is a huge potential because I think in the books he becomes a bit more representative of something dark in Alina's head, something susceptible and manipulative. He exists in her head, but that makes him not very human. And so I'd be interested to see what the show does in terms of keeping him human, unquote. Another cast member we can expect to see more of is Sujaya Dasgupta in the role of Zoya Nazialensky. Speaking to EW, author Lee Bardugo explained that her story plays a pivotal role in multiple books, including the King of Scars duology, which is why her part has been expanded already in Season 1. Quote, with the most recent installment of the Grishaverse, which is Rule of Wolves, the second and last installment in the King of Stars duology, I have put, if not a period, then at least a very firm semicolon on the end of these stories for myself. I know now where Zoya's story is going, unquote. 6. Shadow and Bone Season 2 plot. What will the second season be about? Netflix's adaptation does deviate from the book somewhat, but we imagine that the synopsis for the second novel, Siege and Storm, will definitely provide a blueprint for what's to come in Season 2. Hunted across the true sea, haunted by the lives she took on the fold, Alina must try to make a life with Mal in an unfamiliar land, all while keeping her identity as the Sun Summoner a secret. But she can't outrun her past or her destiny for long. The Darkling has emerged from the Shadowfold with a terrifying new power and a dangerous plan that will test the very boundaries of the natural world. With the help of a notorious privateer, Alina returns to the country she abandoned, determined to fight the forces gathering against Ravka. But as her power grows, Alina slips deeper into the Darkling's game of forbidden magic, and further away from Mal. Somehow, she will have to choose between her country, her power, and the love she always thought would guide her, or risk losing everything to the oncoming storm. 5. Jessie May Lee teased Season 2. Speaking exclusively with Digital Spy, Jessie May Lee teased how that final cliffhanger in Season 1 will impact Alina in Season 2. Quote, Alina goes from being a scared little pup who can't look anyone in the eye to suddenly having this sense of gravity to her. We feel that she has grown a lot, and she's really strong. But she's still got a long way to go, which is a really nice place to leave her. We know where she's going now, and where she's got to go, unquote. During a roundtable with Digital Spy and other press, author Lee Bardugo revealed that she would, quote, love to see the Ice Court heist brought to life, unquote, in a future season of the show. Quote, you get greedy, you know. At the start of all this, I thought just to see a few characters step on stage sometime, that would be enough. But then with every moment, especially when you have such an extraordinary team bringing it to life, you think, wow, If they did this much with one book and this one story, what could they do with these other wild things I've created? Unfortunately, I never thought about this series in terms of adaptation, so I've certainly laid many challenges before them if we ever get there. Very expensive challenges, unquote. One plot development we definitely will see from the books is the introduction of Nikolai, a pirate prince who turns out to be none other than the former king of Ravka. Speaking to Inverse, showrunner Eric Heiserer hinted at his arrival but didn't elaborate beyond mentioning his name. 4. Filming. Since Netflix hasn't announced the second season, we're unsure if filming has begun. The series is still new, so the next season will likely get released in 2022 at the earliest. So, there's still plenty of time before they begin filming. Season 2 will presumably focus on the next book in the Grisha trilogy. Siege and Storm will probably continue to focus on Alina battling against the Fold. Viewers will discover that General Kirigan didn't die. Unfortunately for Alina, his powers become even stronger, and he will still be the villain. 3. Six of Crows. Kaz, Jasper, and Inej's story. The entirety of the Six of Crows duology takes place after the Shadow and Bone novels, so we haven't actually seen anything in them on screen just yet, besides Nina and Matthias' story, which is told via flashback in Six of Crows. That means Season 2 could once again head off in an entirely new direction, or could adapt the events of the novel. In the book, much like Season 1, the Crows have a massive and dangerous heist on their hands. This time around, they need to go to Fjerda, that's the nation of witch hunters from which Matthias hails, and break into a prison that might as well be Fort Knox. They're on the trail of the creator of a mysterious drug known as Jurda Param, which makes Grisha power stronger. But remember Pekka Rollins? He also wants to nab the scientist, which puts him and the Crows at odds once again. 2. Costume designer Wendy Partridge created 250 kefta for the show. Each Grisha has 3 different varieties of kefta: bulletproof for battle, velvet for everyday wear, and silk for social occasions like the winter fete. All of the kefta were hand embroidered in a style called bullion embroidery, with actual pieces of small metal sewn into the fabric. 1. The Darkling, and probably Alina, will get some new powers. We know that the Darkling is still alive at the end of Season 1, and that he can conjure up vicious shadow creatures called the Nishvoya. We saw a glimpse of them at the very end of Season 1, when the Darkling came out of the fold. Those creatures play a pretty big role in Siege and Storm. One bites Alina when the Darkling captures them, for example, and creates a magical connection between the two of them. Alina might also get some extra powers beyond the additional amplifier. In the first book, Shadow and Bone, she, like the Darkling, also learns to do the cut, the ability to basically cut anything in half using the power of light or darkness. Alina never learned this in Season 1 of the show, but it seems likely she'll eventually pick up that skill when the series continues. Are you hyped for Shadow and Bone Season 2? Let us know in the comment section below. And hey, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can continue giving you the best contents. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.